Hi guys, John the Firearms Instructor, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is John Johnson. I'm an owner and operator of a firearms training facility in beautiful Cape Coral, Florida. If you're one of our loyal subscribers, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, helping a family-owned business through their YouTube journey. So today we're going to be discussing something I think is being done a lot at the ranges. And I think why I'm doing this video is last Friday, I had 3 guys come in. They started out with 200 rounds. 200 rounds for 3 guys, that's not bad round count. Then it came out about 200 more. Then it came about another 100. And they bought one more 100. So they have 600 rounds in a hour and 50-minute all-out assault on a piece of paper. So afterwards I asked him some questions, and I kind of like it's been one of those deals I've been trying to concentrate on telling people, and I've been telling you guys for months and months and months and months, almost a year now, make every round count. And as it came out, I knew one of the guys pretty well, so they weren't insulted by what I said, but I asked them how fulfilled they were in their shooting today and what was their plans of today. And their plans of the day was to assault all the paper targets they could, and we weren't caring about accuracy. We weren't caring about a thing in the world. We were just blasting rounds. And I said, well, you won that. That was you. You got 100% on that. But I asked them afterwards, I said, how many bad habits you think you picked up by shooting 600 rounds in an hour and a half? And they all looked at me like, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, how big was your groups? And we went back to look at their paperwork. There wasn't a bullet hole, not in any part. There was bullet holes out here. There was a big spot right here in their paperwork that had no bullets in it. It was up, it was down, it was right. Way down here, there was a shitload of them up there. Right down here, low and left kind of deal. They had chased that circle all day and missed it the whole time because all of them were just shooting. And I wanted to put together a list, and I have the list up behind me right here because I want to remember them all. So I put them on a whiteboard, and they're back there. And the question I have for you, can shooting too many rounds affect your accuracy or ruin your accuracy? What do you think? Can shooting too many rounds ruin your accuracy? Yeah. John mentioned what?
Diminishing returns.
Diminishing returns. That's a good thing. Obviously, he has to come up with something. I got to put him in the video once in a while, guys. He sits back there with his arms crossed, and we don't talk to him. So, diminishing returns. That's exactly right, Johnny. All right. So, I want to ask you something, and you don't have to answer all these questions, but if you would comment to me and tell me what you do or you don't do in your range time, it would help me out tremendously, because I am interested in the philosophy of what you're doing at the range. And number one is, how many rounds do you normally shoot at the range? Now, we sell 100-round bags here, so we expect people to run at least 100 rounds. And most people who are running somewhere between 100 and 200 rounds on an average hour and 10 minutes or so. And that's common. I mean, 100, I'm okay with 100, 150 rounds. Getting past that point, it's diminishing returns at that point. Magazines. Do you fill your magazines full of rounds, or do you minimize your rounds? Now, I always talk to you guys about 5 rounds or 5 rounds in a magazine. That's going to give you a magazine rack, magazine load, sight picture, sight alignment. And you're going to have take time to impact the bullets on the target and figure out what you're doing wrong. If I told you to take a Glock 19 that holds 15 rounds and you put 15 rounds in that magazine plus 1 in the chamber, which is 16, when do you think you stop learning? After the 5th round, probably. And then you're along for the ride. So your accuracy rate's going to weigh, your control of the weapon's going to weigh. And if you're not controlling the weapon, you're not controlling your accuracy, and that becomes... Next thing I'd ask is, a lot of people come to the range, and how many times a week or how many times a month do you shoot? And the average person is 2 times a month. Time gets here, man. It's expensive to shoot. I get it. But in those 2 times a month, you have to get all your training in those 2 times a month and get something out of it and still be able to blast rounds and everything else like that. So probably you should be shooting a little bit more. And if you're shooting 5 rounds or less, you wouldn't need to be here a full hour for that. But you would make sure that you're impacting exactly where you need to be. When you come to the range, this is the next question. Do you have a plan? Like, these guys didn't have a plan. They just wanted to assault. They just wanted to shoot. And I get it. That's fun. That's wonderful. Rapid fire, all the bullshit like that. That's cool. And I'm not... what are you guys are going to call me a FUD? I know that. I realize that. But remember, this is a job you have, right? It's not your job to come to the range and shoot 5,000 rounds. It's your job to be proficient enough with a pistol to save your life and your family's life. And that's kind of important there. What distance, this is another one, what distance are you training at? This is a great one. Think about it being a golfer, right? Do you come out of your car, load your golf clubs, go out to the first tee and just wing it? Or maybe you show up about 30 minutes earlier, play around with the putting green a little bit, hit a couple buckets of balls, get yourself loosened up a little bit. You know, that's where the distance comes in. Yeah, we could practice way out at the 33 feet, right? Here at our range, we're 33. Some people shoot 25 yards with a handgun. Well, if you can't do it at 25, or you can't do it at 3, you surely ain't doing it at 25. So start out short distances first. Get those impacts, get them working, get those juices flowing. Then you can extend your accuracy. Don't start out long and come in at the end. But when you're finished up for the day, make sure you bring that target close enough that you could clover leaf those rounds. To know that in a high stress situation and everything was perfect, you would be able to put those rounds in that paper plate as you need them. So distance, all right? You know, that's the next thing. Are you happy with your accuracy at this point in time? Were those guys happy the other day? Yeah, they were super happy. They come out here, they were pumped, man. They had a great time. But were their accuracy, were they good on their accuracy? No, they sucked. They just weren't controlling the weapon, right? And I get it. You know, when you're shooting fast and having fun and we're all bullshitting and they're all making fun of each other because they're missing. But in the real world term, again, it's your responsibility to defend yourself with that firearm. It's in your home. You better make sure that you're proficient enough that you can do what you need to do in a high defense situation. Remember, the cop's job is to write the report and draw the chalk line. Make sure that chalk line's not yours. It's your responsibility to defend yourself and your family. The firearms for now, cops are for minutes, 15, 20, 25 minutes down the road. It's not their job to save your life. It's your job to save your life. And you need to make sure you're proficient with a pistol enough to be able to do that. Next question, and this is more for the gentlemen than it is the women. Have you ever taken a firearms training class? It's amazing to me. I had a deputy sheriff in here yesterday. And I came back just to check the place out. And I was watching him. And he was shooting perfect, but to the left. And he was, I mean, his groups were decent, man. His groups were decent. I was off duty. He was having his gun that he carries on his body. And they were impacting here. And I asked him, I said, do you always impact the left? He goes, yes, I just can't figure it all out. You know what he was doing, guys? He's putting the gun over his nose and not over his dominant eye. 2 little things. And he went from here to center of the target. And he looks back at me and goes, oh my God, what the hell did you just do to me? I've never shot I've never shot that good in my life. And then, of course, I walk out. I come back out 10 minutes later. He's back doing exactly the same thing because he forgot what I explained to him, right? You got a firearms trainer is going to work with your strengths and your weaknesses to make you more proficient. Try to find a qualified instructor. Take a firearms training class. It's not going to hurt your feelings, and I guarantee you, after you're done with that class, you'll learn a lot of information. Well worth the money, guys. Well worth the money. Because at the end of it, it's not all about, it is about safety and safety orientation, but it is about grip, stance, trigger control, and putting it all together in a little deal. If you don't want to take a firearms training class, guys, on this YouTube channel, there are many videos on how to be proficient with a pistol.
Almost like 200, right?
There's over 300